Good afternoon. Welcome to my daily broadcast. My name is Barry Selby. Yes, every day, 4:30 p.m. seems to be my perfect time to do it, at least most convenient for me. Hopefully you'll see it live, if not in the replay. My name is Barry Selby. I am a best-selling author, speaker, and relationship attraction expert, helping strong, successful women find balance in love, life, and business. I'm also a passionate champion for the divine feminine. And I do these talks every day called Messages from the Masculine to Inspire the Feminine Heart. And this is number 316 in an ongoing series of talks. And today's topic might upset some people. Seems that's been my theme the last few broadcasts. Triggering people and upsetting people. We'll see. So, today's topic, number 316, is do you believe in love at first sight? And why this might be a nightmare. For some people, the idea of love at first sight is a bit of a fairy tale, so I had to basically flip the script and make this point a little bit stronger. Yes, you've heard of people, and I have too, people who met somebody and it was love at first sight, and they got married and lived happily ever after. I think we actually know the same person because it doesn't happen very often. It's actually a rare experience. Now, the reason I'm saying it as a nightmare will be something you may have heard from me before, and I want to get into this a different angle because I'm hoping that this point's going to land for you at some point. I was talking to a friend of mine this morning who's been reading my book, and she said that this is one of the most challenging parts, is the baggage. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So let me back up and start again. Or I should say back to the beginning and start where I left off. So, for many of you out there, and particularly for the ladies out there, as you're my primary audience, I know this, the idea of love at first sight is extremely appealing. One reason, because it saves a lot of hassle and guesswork. Secondly, you can jump right into an amazing relationship, ideally, and have the most amazing time. Again, the nightmare's coming, so hold tight. The idea of love at first sight is implied. No, sorry. The idea of love at first sight is suggesting that your heart will recognize the other heart, and you know exactly who the other person is, and you'll be happily ever after. Now, I know many more people who had love at first sight who have since gotten broken up, divorced, or had a lawsuit, than those who had love and lasted forever. Because that love at first sight, may not be true love. It may be, how do I say this in a nicer way? It's love of issues at first sight. I'll put it that way. Let me explain the radar situation, because the idea of love at first sight isn't something you consciously have. This is the thing. Love at first sight is most generally looked upon as being a feeling, not they're the perfect person that runs through your head. Most people don't think that way. In fact, most people don't have the experience of love at first sight from up here, strangely enough. It's from down here. At least that's what they think it is. I'm suggesting it's actually about 7 inches lower than that. Yes, from your gut, basically. And the reason being is what's drawing you is... It's funny how I'm going to say this, because I'm realizing I've got to play... This is a double-edged sword, so I've got to be careful how I approach this. So, the idea of love at first sight as a ideal is wonderful. So don't get me wrong. I love the idea of love at first sight. And I'm not being a cynic or a skeptic. I'm just being practical. I've seen this happen so many times. I'm just letting you know the misperception that might be happening for you if you have that experience. Love at first sight, and I've said that title so many times, I hope you got the point right now, that it may not be real, assumes that it's your heart and the other person's heart connecting. And as I said, let's go a bit lower than that. What I firmly believe is that love at first sight draws to the other person. Yes, you're attracted to them, but what's underneath the surface, and which is overriding, underneath and is overriding your intentions, is a that's an interesting way of putting it, a heat-seeking missile. That's one analogy came up, meaning that what's actually happening is your guidance system for your need to be in a relationship is seeking out a reciprocal and matching receiver of that missile, so to speak, from the other person. So for those two pieces to come together isn't just love at first sight. In fact, it's intersecting or interlocking or interweaving of all your stuff. Yes, that stuff I've talked about before, baggage, patterns, all this stuff. So how does this work? I'm glad you asked. You're at a party or a bar or a social gathering, and across the room you see this beautiful person who you go, oh my God, who is this person? I've got to find out who they are. The reason they're so amazing to you may appear to be the outfit they're wearing, the shape of their body, the look in their eyes, the way they look in their face. I'm keeping this neutral because it works both ways, as in both male and female have this experience. What's really drawing you to them is your internal 7-year-old radar. Yes, well, right, 5-year-old, let's put it like that age. You have within you, if you haven't done the work to change this paradigm, which I've been doing for 30 years, so I know this is not an easy path necessarily. You have a 5-year-old that's driving the ship. You, the ship, you're the whole being. That 5-year-old is using a guidance system that ain't GPS. It ain't Waze, it ain't Siri, it ain't any of that stuff. It's the experience, memories, and beliefs that are running in your subconscious, in your lower gut levels feeling, that happened when you were 5 years old. Now imagine if 2 5-year-olds in adult bodies met across a crowded floor. They might go, oh, they're the perfect one. But what they're actually running, as bizarre as that sounds, I mean, you just imagine for a second 2 5-year-olds in adult bodies across a crowded room looking at each other going, wow, that's amazing. It's really messed up. And that's the challenge, is that innocent 5-year-old that's driving you to the other person doesn't have the full spectrum of information, doesn't have the full vision of what you really want. So even though up here and in here you have a vision of what you want in a relationship, the 5-year-old driving the ship is using what it knows, he or she, based upon what happened up until the age of 5 years old. And some of you are going, what do you mean what happened up until the age of 5 years old? Your family life that you were raised in, the first 5-6 years of life, I'm trying to find analogies. Some of the analogies are working, some of them are not, so bear with me. But you're basically from the age of 0 to 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 if you're lucky, or unlucky, depending on how you look at it, have been watching the world around you like a Yoda-like observer, not quite, but a young self that's looking at the world around you and seeing the world the way it is, thinking that's the way it must be. So at 5 years old, you don't think you can change what's out there. In fact, you think what's out there is the way it's supposed to be, and you believe it's the way life and law and the universe works. So, for example, if you look around at the first few years of your life and look at your parents, and maybe one of them was cheating on the other one, you would take that in as being the way love is expressed. No conscious volition, no free will, no choice. Just you go, that's the way it is. That's the way they are. That must be the way life is, and the way love is too. And that gets filed away in the 5-year-old's data bank, in its navigation system, as it were. Maybe your parents one of them was drinking a lot, or one of them was working all the time, or they were arguing all the time. Whatever it was that happened between the adults in your life when you were a kid, which are likely your parents, maybe your grandparents, maybe other adults around you who took care of you, the way they expressed to each other is the way that you perceive love was being communicated. But again, none of this was conscious. You weren't thinking about it going, oh, that's how they do it. Your subconscious mind down here, lower down from the heart, is receiving the information, and I'm using that as a sense. It's not really down there, but it's kind of the way I'm trying to explain it. I'm trying to put this together in a way that makes sense on the fly with no script. My God, this is fun. Your younger self is taking in automatically, having its script written for it, almost like being given lines as an actor. You don't have free will to say what you want. You've got to use a script. That's what the 5-year-old has. It's put inside a script for how love is, and that's the guidance system, the navigation system it's using when you're an adult looking for love in all the wrong places. I had to get that one in there. So, love at first sight. What's happening is the 5-year-old in you, running all those patterns and beliefs and rules, is seeking out a match with the 5-year-old in the other person. So, you may be looking across the room at this beautiful person, but internally, your 5-year-old mindset, your younger self, is seeking a match for its data that it's looking for. That navigation system is looking for the recipient of the message it's sending. That 5-year-old is saying, I'm looking for somebody who will cheat on me because that's the way my dad did to my mum. And that's the way it must be, because that's what I think is the way it's supposed to love expressed. The other person is in a similar boat, where they were in a place where they were cheated on, or their adult life were cheated on. So they know that their pattern is they're going to cheat. Excuse me, they don't know it, they just have that pattern in them. Patterns come across, the cheater and the cheatee meet, and it's true love at first sight. Until 6 months down the road, when one of them cheats on the other person goes, who the hell are you? That's not the person I wanted to be with. And love at first sight, gone. I'm using this as an example because this is how it works. This is how it happens. So be forewarned. Love at first sight may not be what you think it is. So what I'm asking you to do, as a viewer of my broadcast, is to take this with a dose of reality. Take this as a dose of reality. Be really clear that when you meet somebody, what's attracting you might not be what you think it is, and maybe a lot more painful than you think it is. Now, 2 things. One of them is you can avoid any relationship by not even doing that, because you don't want to get trapped into that paradigm and stuff, which it could be really lonely. Or secondly, you could do the work necessary to rewire the programming, because that wiring in there is not permanent unless you change it. Excuse me. It's not permanent unless you don't change it. You can, with support and assistance by somebody who knows how to do this, hint, hint, get in there, as it were, rewire, reframe, reprogram, and rearrange the beliefs that that 5-year-old's carrying, so that the vision it carries and the GPS it's running takes you where you really do want to go, not where it's defaulting to. That is where my work comes in, a large part of my work. So if this is something that you're starting to become aware of, going, hang on a second, I look back at my past relationships and I see 4 of them or 3 of them or 2 of them that match the way my parents treated each other, oh God, maybe it's time to get some help. If that's the case, I have something special for you, which is a free gift. That free gift is what I call a complimentary clarity conversation. It's a 30-minute conversation between you and me, where we start to dig into that and get a sense of where it is you've been, where you are, and where you want to go. And at the end of 30 minutes, hopefully, intentionally, you'll have some keys and some clues to work forward with. And yes, if you ask for it, and if I think about it, I may offer you some ideas where I can work with you deeper and take you where you want to go more effectively. But that's my gift to you. Just go to my website, which is barryselby.com, my name.com, and click on the Let's Chat button, which is the top. It's actually the left-hand navigation bar. Thanks for the hearts, by the way. Thanks for the love. If you go there and sign up for a discovery session, it's called a complimentary clarity conversation, I'll help you get some clarity. How about that? My gift to you. If you want to find out more about these videos, by the way, I do this every day. Excuse me. They're called Messages from the Masculine to Inspire the Feminine Heart. This is actually for both genders, both polarities, and it is my passion to serve in that way. So this is number 316. There's 315 of these, plus this one that's going to be up shortly, on my business page on Facebook, which is barryselby.author, on my YouTube channel, which is Barry Selby, the playlist is Messages from the Masculine, and on my website, which is barryselby.com. Click on the video blog. So all that stuff's on my website. I invite you to browse my website and check out what I've got, because I have videos, I have my book, best-selling book, by the way, 50 Ways to Love Your Lover, and, of course, the discovery session you can have as my gift to you. Your homework. Yes, you have to have homework. I always give homework out nowadays, it seems. Your homework for today, for this weekend. Well, I'll be doing a broadcast tomorrow, but your homework for today. What should it be? Here's your homework. If you're up for this one, because the nightmare doesn't have to be a nightmare, is to go in to a journal or a book or write down somewhere and look at your past few relationships. Ideally, the ones in your adult life. If there's more than 1 or 2, that's great. And look for the common threads, especially if they didn't work. If the relationships had issues, what were the common issues that happened in all the relationships? Because I guarantee you'll find at least one that happened in almost every single relationship. Not necessarily all of them, but most of them. That'll give you a clue what's in the way. And then, as I said, sign up for a discovery session and we can work with that. All right? So thank you for watching. Thanks for being part of my conversation. If this appeals to you and you think somebody else will watch this, please share it with them. And if you want to share it in any groups you belong to, feel free to doing that as well. I invite you to take care of yourself, because this is deep work and it's heart-based work. And your heart's probably the most important part of your system. So I invite you to take care of yourself, because you deserve the best. And I'm here to help you get it. Take care of yourself. I'll see you again tomorrow.